These places are the most protected and restricted areas on Earth, from vaults safeguarding the world's most precious treasures to secretive government facilities shrouded in mystery and buildings preserving the last bastions of untouched nature. Join me, I'm counting down the top 15 most protected places on Earth. Starting with number 15, the Svalbard Seed Bank. The world of agriculture is dominated by a select few cultivars, carefully chosen for their desirable traits. A specific banana cultivar, once prevalent, succumbed to the relentless Panama disease around 1950, leading to its virtual extinction and subsequent replacement by the hardier but less flavorful Cavendish cultivar. This practice of cultivating a limited number of strains for maximum yield, while financially beneficial, poses a significant risk. The widespread adoption of a handful of genetically identical plants makes entire crops vulnerable to diseases that exploit their uniform genetic makeup. The threat of mutated fungus wiping out global corn ownership of their contents. With the capacity to store 4.5 million seed samples, it can safeguard approximately 3 samples of the 1.5 million distinct agricultural crops known to exist. Not only is the seed bank totally remote, but the seeds sit safely about 500 feet into the bedrock. Even in the event of a complete power failure, the temperature within the sandstone bedrock remains stable for weeks, hovering around -3 degrees Celsius. Number 14. Pine Gap, Australia. Pine Gap, situated approximately 11 miles southwest of Alice Springs in the Northern Territory, serves as a pivotal satellite surveillance base and Earth station jointly operated by Australia and the United States. Officially named the Joint Defense Facility Pine Gap in 1988, it was previously known as the Joint Defense Space Research Facility. Strategically located, Pine Gap exercises control over U.S. spy satellites hovering over about 1/3 of the globe. Its remote location in Central Australia prevents interception by spy ships and international radomes, covering radio dishes, and it's got a workforce of over 800 employees. That's overseen by a senior CIA officer, so it's safe to say this place is full of secrets. Number 13. The Lascaux Caves. The Cave of Lascaux, nestled in the Dordogne area of France, stands as an unparalleled testament to prehistoric artistry. Dating back over 17,000 years, the cave's detailed anatomy and realistic perspective in its paintings elevated to the pinnacle of discovered prehistoric art. Think of it as the most exclusive art museum in the world. Discovered in 1940 by some local teenagers, the cave's entrance led to a mesmerizing world adorned with around 2,000 painted figures. The seclusion of over a millennia had remarkably preserved the vivid colors of mineral pigments depicting animals, people, and enigmatic symbols. The cave is part of the Vézère Valley, having the highest concentration of Upper Paleolithic sites in Western Europe. Among these, the Cave of Lascaux stands out for the scale of its painted figures and the quality of its art. Representations of reindeer, a staple prey during that era, and omits depictions of plants or landscapes. Some researchers speculate that the paintings may serve as an ancient star map, concealing constellations within the lines of the animals. The Cave of Lascaux, once open to the public, closed its doors in 1963 due to the detrimental impact of over 1,500 daily visitors on the delicate paintings. Mold and fungus posed ongoing threats to the cave's preservation, leading to its current status, sealed to all but one person at a time, solely for monitoring purposes. Number 12. Surtsey Island. In a sudden eruption on November 14, 1963, a plume of steam and ash emerged from the North Atlantic Ocean, giving rise to a new island about 20 miles off Iceland's southern coast. Named Surtsey Island after a black fire giant in Norse mythology, this basalt and ash creation has since become one of the Earth's rare untouched landscapes. Over the past 3.5 decades, a series of eruptions formed Surtsey. Geologist from the University of Utah. Visits to the island must also carefully be timed to avoid disturbing resident wildlife. Jackson's team conducted their expedition after the nesting season for birds concluded in July, wrapping up before seals and their young claimed Surtsey for the September season. Scientists, once on the island, focus on collecting data and samples. However, all analysis must be conducted elsewhere to prevent any adverse impact on Surtsey's delicate ecosystem. Number 11. North Brother Island. Right between the boogie-down Bronx and Rikers Island in the East River, North Brother Island unfolds a captivating yet tragic chronicle that has shaped its unique history. In 1885, the city acquired the uninhabited island to erect Riverside Hospital, a facility dedicated to patients afflicted with contagious diseases like typhus, tuberculosis, yellow fever, and smallpox. Among its notorious residents was Typhoid Mary Mallon, the inaugural documented asymptomatic carrier of typhoid fever bacteria in her belief of unjust detention. In 1905, tragedy struck when the General Slocum steamship caught fire near the island, claiming over 1,000 lives, the deadliest disaster in New York until the September 11th attacks. A memorial fountain in Tompkins Square commemorates the victims of this event. It seems that this place was just cursed from the beginning, and it seems like not much has changed. Post-World War II, though, Riverside Hospital was repurposed for war veterans and later for heroin addiction treatment. Its doors closed for good in 1963, leaving the site to deteriorate over time. Currently, it's off-limits to the public. North Brother Island serves as a bird sanctuary now, hosting one of the region's largest colonies of black-crowned night herons. This deliberate restriction ensures the preservation of both its historical significance and its role as a vital habitat for local avian life. Number 10. Heard Island. Heard Island and the McDonald Islands, Australia's most isolated territory, lie in the remote reaches of the southern Indian Oceans, predominantly cloaked in glaciers. The imposing Mawson Peak, a towering 9,000-foot active volcano, dominates the island's landscape. Notably, Mawson Peak also claims the title of the highest peak in Australia. A mere 27 miles west of Heard Island, the diminutive McDonald Islands form part of a mostly submerged volcanic peak. This volcanic site experienced its first eruption in 1992 after a dormant period of over 75,000 years. Remarkably, these McDonald Islands, along with Mawson Peak on Heard Island, stand as the sole active volcanoes across the entire Australian continent. The islands saw their first European landing in 1855, and subsequently serving as a base for seal hunting. However, the seal population's near extinction led to the abandonment of the territory in the 1880s. In 1910, the United Kingdom formally claimed the islands, and their administration was transferred to Australia in 1947. Today, Heard Island and the McDonald Islands hold the status of a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a marine nature reserve, managed by the Australian Antarctic. With this strip of land, incidents, both military and civilian, have happened, resulting in casualties on both sides. The Joint Security Area, nestled near the western end of the DMZ, serves as a meeting point for negotiations between North and South Korea. Formerly the sole connection between the two nations, Panmunjom, located near the western coast, is the home of the JSA. While originally serving as the venue for Korean solidarity statements, it's experienced a slight decline in tensions over the years. The DMZ's significance is underscored by the Joint Security Area, housing the renowned Bridge of No Return, where prisoner exchanges have unfolded. Landmines and explosives deeply entrenched in the DMZ's Joint Security Area underwent a scheduled removal process initiated on October 1, 2018, lasting 20 days. This demining effort extended to Arrowhead Hill, uncovering Korean War remains and concluding on November 30, 2018. Over the past half-century, human habitation in the Korean DMZ has been nearly impossible due to its deadly nature. Endangered Korean fox, Asiatic black bear, and potentially rare species like the Siberian tiger, Amur leopard, and western gray whale. Ecologists have identified an impressive 2,900 plant species, 70 mammal types, and over 300 bird species within this narrow buffer zone, emphasizing the DMZ's role as an unexpected haven for biodiversity. Number 8. Morgan Island. Morgan Island in South Carolina, often referred to as Monkey Island, is home to a large population of over 4,000 rhesus monkeys. Located in St. Helena Sound off the Beaufort coast, close to Charleston, the island has become a focal point of local lore and debate. The rhesus macaque monkeys, originally from Asia, were relocated to Morgan Island in the late 1970s for scientific purposes, their numbers growing from 1,400 since their arrival from the Caribbean Primate Research Center at the University of Puerto Rico. The island, which covers 4,500 acres and was previously deserted, was closed to the public with the monkeys' population on the native ecosystem has been subject of study. Recent discussions have been ignited by unverified claims of the annual removal of 600 monkeys for research, drawing the public's attention and promoting remarks from Representative Nancy Mace. While it is illegal to set foot on Morgan Island, viewing the monkeys from the water via private or chartered boats remains an option. This island represents one of only 2 feral colonies of rhesus monkeys in the United States, with the other located in Silver Springs, Florida, introduced under unusual circumstances in the late 1930s. However, due to legal and health concerns, approaching these monkeys is strongly advised against. Moving on to number 7, Greenbrier. Nestled in Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, a mere 5 hours from the nation's capital, the Greenbrier Resort has long been dubbed America's resort since 1778. It's hosted 26 U.S. presidents and European royalty, offering more than just luxurious amenities. Hidden within its grounds lies a secret known as Project Pass, and many legislators went through their terms oblivious to the bunker beneath their feet. Despite the secrecy, it's probable that visiting presidents and vice presidents were aware, given their roles in the project's initiation in 1958, a construction that took over 2 years to complete. The Superior Supply Company responsible for the concrete work was kept uninformed about the project's true nature. To the outside world, the construction was presented as the future site of a new exhibition or conference space. The bunker itself was fortified with 2 feet of concrete walls and a steel layer, sitting 20 feet underground. More than just a shelter, it was also equipped with an advanced air filtration system to block out any radiation. Inside the bunker housed a special chamber for Senate and House meetings, complete with seats and microphones, and an expansive room for joint sessions. A television studio was set up for post-disaster communications, and accommodations were military-style metal bunk beds assigned to each congressman. To maintain secrecy and readiness, government employees were stationed at the resort under the guise of TV technicians, international visitors through consulates. Situated in a highly controlled 15-mile flight-restricted zone near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, the White House complex is well protected. Surface-to-air missile launchers across the city stand ready to intercept any aircraft not adhering to U.S. Air Force direction. The building has a roof-mounted radar for monitoring, and infrared cameras along the boundary detect any temperature variations, alerting security personnel to potential threats. The perimeter fence, 7 feet tall with crash-resistant concrete footings, features barbs to prevent climbing. In 2017, the fence height increased to 10.8 feet, equipped with sensors to notify security of pressure on the bars. Bulletproof windows resist impacts from semi-automatic weapons, and the Presidential Emergency Operations Center in the Situation Room beneath the east and west wings ensure continued operation even in a nuclear explosion. In response to unauthorized aircraft in the no-fly zone, warnings are issued, and if ignored, surface-to-air launchers threat. While the true extent of White House security remains undisclosed, it's widely acknowledged as one of the most highly protected buildings in the world. Number 5. North Sentinel Island. So North Sentinel Island, ensconced within the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, serves as an emblem of isolation and indigenous protection. This archipelago, an Indian Union territory, comprises 184 islands in the Bay of Bengal, strategically located about 300 miles off the coast of Myanmar and 700 miles from India. North Sentinel Island gained prominence in 1967 when the Anthropological Survey of India embarked on a mission to establish peaceful contact with the Sentinelese. This indigenous tribe had gained notoriety for its hostility toward any intrusion, often responding with arrows to fishing vessels and naval ships approaching its shores. However, the first expedition witnessed an empty beach, leading to anthropologists to speculate that the Sentinelese had anticipated their arrival and retreated, culminating in repulsion. Number 4. Zone Rouge. The Zone Rouge, also known as the Red Zone, stands as a reminder of the unimaginable devastation brought on by World War I in northeastern France. This desolate and forbidden territory emerged as a consequence of the relentless fighting along the Western Front, leaving once fertile land irreversibly scarred, contaminated, and strictly off-limits. The intensity of the shelling during the Battle of Verdun, spanning a harrowing 300 days and ranking among the longest and deadliest battles in history, reduced vast areas of agricultural land into a nightmarish hellscape. In the aftermath of the war, the French government, grappling with the profound environmental and human toll, made a grim declaration. A vast 460 square mile area extending from Nancy through Verdun to Lille was deemed uninhabitable and unsuitable for any form of development. Zone Rouge is almost like the Chernobyl of France. The soil in an effort to reclaim this desolation, a specialized munitions clearing agency was established. Over the decades, they've tirelessly worked to reduce the expanse of the Zone Rouge, undertaking the task of destroying hundreds of thousands of munitions. The annual Iron Harvest, where French farmers collect unexploded ordnance, barbed wire, shrapnel, and bullets, reflects this ongoing collaboration to render the land safe. Number 3. Diego Garcia. In the heart of the Indian Ocean lies the military stronghold known as Diego Garcia, a strategic U.S. military base that's played a pivotal role as a launch pad for military operations. This isolated outpost, situated on a remote island beyond the borders of the United States, carries a history intertwined with the British Empire and is veiled in secrecy, sparking numerous conspiracy theories over the years. Diego Garcia's origins are shrouded in dispute, with some speculating its discovery during a Portuguese voyage in the early 16th century. The island gained official recognition as ships and aircraft. Remarkably, within a mere 2 years, the U.S. erected a permanent base, and by the 1980s, Diego Garcia had metamorphosed into a fully fledged naval support facility. Often referred to as the Footprint of Freedom, this covert naval base is presently operational, harboring thousands of American troops. Tasked with providing crucial support to the U.S. and allied forces deployed in the Indian Ocean, the Naval Support Facility also aids overseas contingency operations, from AirForCom, EUCOM, CENTCOM, and PACCOM. Given the clandestine nature of Diego Garcia, concurrent assignments for DoD or military couples are strictly prohibited. Tours of duty on the island typically extend to a year, although some civilian personnel have found themselves stationed in this mysterious outpost for durations spanning up to 15 years. Diego Garcia, it remains a symbol of military prowess, its secrets guarded by layers of security and a strict access protocol, perpetuating its aura of mystery in the vast